Okay, let's take a look at this question. Schilling studies the setup of a simple flood warning system as shown. When it rains, water is collected at part K. So this is where part K is. So when there is a long heavy downpour, the alarm will sound. So the alarm will sound. This is where the alarm is. When there is a heavy downpour that can tell us there's a flooding, there's a possible flooding. So we are going to describe and explain how a long heavy downpour will cause the alarm to sound. So we look at the system here. So this is a warning system, and we can see inside this waterproof box. So this is the waterproof box. In the box itself, there is battery and wires and the metal rods. So the battery is actually our energy source, and the wire is connected to the waterproof alarm. And at the end, we have two pieces of metal rods. And these two pieces of metal rods, since they are made of metal, they are actually our electrical conductor. And then we have here the foam float wrapped in aluminum foil. So aluminum foil is also a metal, so it's an electrical conductor again. So this is where the foam float is. Okay, this is where the foam float is right here. The foam float is sitting right on the water. And that's before a rain come in. So before the rain come in, right, you can see that the circuit is actually open. It's not closed. So no electric current can flow through. So when there's a heavy downpour, so it means that the rain will come in from here. So this is where the rain will start to enter through the container at part K, and then causing and flowing to the other side, which is a part L. Then the water level will start to rise. So when the water level increases, okay, when the water level actually become more, so when the water become more, okay, like this, when the water become more, we should use a blue color. Okay, so whereas the water level become more, okay, so that's where the water is, the foam float itself will actually be shifted upwards. Okay, so this is where the foam float wrapped in aluminum foil, it will come in contact with the metal rod here and forming a closed circuit. So when a closed circuit is formed, electric current can flow through, and this will cause the alarm to sound. So how do we describe and explain? Okay, let's try out. So first of all, we can say that the water enters part K and flow into part L. Okay, so we mentioned how the water actually travel from part K to part L. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, water travel from part K to part L. So this is a bit on your P4 topic with regard to the property of water. Let's say that the physical property of water is actually it flows. Okay, it flows and take up the shape of the container. Okay, it flows. So this is the first part. Okay, let's continue. So the second part is we need to explain about the heavy downpour causing the water level to rise and increase, which caused the foam float to actually the aluminum foil to come in contact with these metal with these two pieces of metal rods. So we are going to put this inside here. Okay, just okay inside the come back here. Okay, so this what happened. So after the heavy downpour, the water level in part L will start to increase, start to rise. And this caused the foam float that's wrapped in the aluminum foil to come in contact with the two pieces of metal rods. So this is your second part. Okay. And then coming to the third part is whereby you explain that the circuit is closed. Okay, electric current can flow through. So a closed circuit is formed and our electric current can flow through the circuit and cause the alarm to sound. Okay, so that's how the first part will look like. Then come to second part, state the property of aluminum foil. So this is actually saying that this piece of metal is a good conductor of electricity. So this is our electric current. Okay, it is an electrical conductor. So I can explain that it is an electrical conductor. Okay, so this is the answer for this. For the second question, it is an electrical conductor. Okay, and finally the last part, last question. Let's take a look. So this is the last part. Suggest a reason why most of the circuit is placed inside the waterproof box. So this is the waterproof box and the circuit actually most part are actually inside the waterproof box. So if you remember the property of material that talk about waterproof, right? Waterproof actually preventing water from entering the box. So it doesn't allow water to enter. So it's actually help to protect the circuit from the rain. So you have to explain that, suggesting why most of the circuit is placed inside, because we will want to protect the circuit, you see. So to protect the circuit from the rain, and of course we have to apply what you learned this year, which is to prevent an electric shock or fire or short circuit. So that's all for this question. So take a look. Hope you can understand better now.